Hello and welcome to Tuesday 2-Minute Tips. So as you can see from my sweater, I think it's officially fall. You won't catch me rejoicing. I'm a summer person, even though I live in San Francisco where I wear this sweater all summer if you look back at my old videos. Anyway, we're going to talk about winter squash because they're starting to feel seasonal and appropriate and be in the market. So these are two of my favorite. I just posted in my Facebook group one of those threads about what's your most controversial food preference. And mine is that I actually don't love butternut squash. I know everybody starts to go crazy for it, but I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway, so go to my group and tell me your most tell me here, what's your most controversial food opinion? It's just fun. Anyway, my favorite squash is this one. This is called a delicata squash. I feel like they've been having a moment, becoming increasingly popular recently. This is actually a pretty big one. You can kind of see against the length of my hand. And what I love about these is that if you cut it this way and open it up, they make perfect boats and they're amazing for stuffing. You just scoop out the seeds with a spoon and you can stuff them with grains and cheese and other sauteed veggies. You can stuff them with sausage and beans and coat them with a layer of cheese and broil it, and they're super, super good. The other thing I love about them is that their skin is really very smooth, and you can eat this skin. This skin is actually good. Like I would almost never peel a delicata. It's especially good. First of all, wash it really well, but it's especially good if you cut the skin into small pieces. So like if you cut this across and then make your slices like this, so you have strips of the squash skin that are, a third of an inch thick, maybe half an inch thick. And the other really cool thing you can do with delicata is actually just slice it into rounds, and you can roast the rounds even with the seeds and the insides. That's pretty cool too. And they get really nice and caramelized and golden, and it's sweet, but not too sweet. Also a favorite for stuffing is acorn squash. This is a huge acorn squash. When I'm shopping for them, I usually look for ones that are a little bit smaller. And the skin on acorn squash is really tasty too. So again, like the delicata, if I was going to stuff this and just cut it in half, the skin, it'd be okay if you ate it, but it's kind of a little bit hard at that point. It's hard to bite through and might not be the most appealing. But if you cut this and then slice it into like wedges, and again, thinking of cutting the skin so that it's only maybe half an inch thick at most, that makes it much easier and much more bite size. So if I was going to do, I did like a maple and soy glazed roast winter squash. So I did this one, cut it in half, peel it, and then cut it into like 1 or half-inch pieces, toss it with my glaze, roast it, and the squash skin tastes amazing. The types of skins that I would not eat are those big hearty ones that look more like pumpkins, like a curry squash, which is amazing, braised in coconut milk, but you do want to peel it, or butternut squash. I will talk about it because I know everybody else loves it. If you can find small butternut squash, like little, you can definitely eat the skin. But once they get bigger, and if they have any of those like white kind of growths on them, you're not going to want to eat those skin. You can, it's edible. It's not going to hurt you. It just doesn't taste as good. The other thing with butternut squash is that the earlier in the season, the more tender the skins are. So right now, go ahead and eat the skins. But later, you might want to peel the skin off your butternut squash at that point. And that's just because the skin has had time to cure. So it'll get harder and firmer. So let me know if you're eating squash skin. I have a bunch of recipes on the site. You can go and look at endsandstems.com for what's in my fridge recipe search and type in the names of these squash and you'll see a recipe for almost all of them. I'm pretty sure come up. Happy fall, I guess, if you're into fall. See you next week.